Even before I decided to become a doctor, I have always known in my heart of hearts that I was meant to be a teacher. And in my 3 years of teaching preschool kids how to count their carrots and how to wash their hands properly, I have discovered that the most important lessons in life are best delivered in stories. And today, my dear friends, I come to you with 3 stories. And the first story is one that starts at a place that is closest to home. In 2011, more than a decade ago, I was fortunate enough to have graduated from college, from no less than the Philippines' top university, the very first from my family, and the very first coming from our small hometown in northern Philippines. And I was so excited to come home, to bring joy to my parents, to my family, to bring glory to our hometown. But even before I came home, 2 super typhoons struck our region. And more than 2 months of endless rains completely submerged our entire hometown. When it was finally time for me to come home, I was looking for a house. I was looking for a home. But there was no home to come to. All my memories gone, school records, clothes, my Pokemon collection, which I built for 7 years, all gone. Memories of my ancestors gone. All swept away by a vast nothingness of muddy floodwater. My first story is about the immense pain and fear of losing one's home. And it's a story that I have seen play out countless of times in my work as an environmental health scientist. My fellow Filipinos losing their homes from climate disasters. Our forests being stripped down only to be turned into luxury resorts. Our indigenous people being robbed of their ancestral lands by mining companies. Our rivers and our land being made barren by global warming. My grandmother, when she was alive, she once asked me, "Jello, no ka rin noreng gamu-gamu? Where have all the fireflies gone? We have seemed to driven them all away. And our land is not what it used to be. Our home is not what it used to be." And this is our inconvenient truth. We are losing our common home. And those that have so much more to lose, those who are more likely to lose their lives, their homes, their families, are those who have been vulnerable and marginalized to begin with. And while this has become our inconvenient truth, an indigenous Dumagat elder, one of our longest-serving forest patrol rangers, once told me, when we care for the environment, we also care for the people. And when we care for our common home, we allow it to sustain and support us, as it always has. As it always has. Now, from our first story of home, allow me now to tell you of a story of a mission. Nanay Milagros, or Nanay Mila as we call her, is a farmer from Batangas province in the Philippines. Nanay Mila has not had an easy life. Never finishing school, married early, widowed at 28 years old, left to care for an entire farm and 7 children all on her own. And then in 2020, the AFHE volcano erupted for the first time after 50 years, engulfing the entire Batangas province in heavy ashfall, displacing people, disrupting lives, destroying livelihoods. Nanay Mila and her family was one of the most affected. And as fate would have it, that same year, my team was first to detect toxic levels of arsenic in the groundwater sources of the province, that which supplied drinking water to more than 2 million people. Arsenic is very common in volcanic areas in the Philippines, but it's also a class 1 carcinogen. And in drinking water, it's colorless, odorless, tasteless. And without testing, people can just continue consuming it without ever knowing. And back then, our team working with the local authorities felt that we need to do massive testing. We need to let the people know. They deserve to know. But we also knew we had very little resources. I had very little money at that time. The government had very little money at the time. And who will do the testing? That was 2020. All our healthcare workers have been thinly stretched out by the COVID-19 pandemic. But you know what? It was Nanay Mila and ordinary citizens who stepped up. They approached us, they asked us to train them on how to do water quality testing. They organized themselves. We helped them organize themselves so that they'd be able to sweep through the entire province, one house after the other, one farm after the other, testing water sources, decommissioning and tagging contaminated water sources, informing and educating their fellow community members on the health risks of arsenic. And you know what? If you ask me, today, who is saving lives of these people in Batangas? It's not me. It's not government, not doctors. It's everyday people, citizen scientists like Nanay Mila. In one of my monitoring visits, I asked Nanay Mila, Nay naman, you have 7 children. You have a farm. Why do you do this? I won't take it against you. But why do you continue to volunteer with us? It was at that point that she pulled up her sleeves, revealing multiple dark patches all over her arms and her hands. Nanay Mila tells me that she's had these skin lesions as a young girl, thinking that it was probably because of working all day under the sun, not knowing that it was because of drinking arsenic-contaminated water all her life. Nanay Mila, why do you continue to do this? She had one simple answer. Growing up, I felt very ugly, she said. Unwanted, imperfect. I never want my children to feel the same way. Today I tell you the story of Nanay Mila because it's a story that has inspired me and my team. And I also tell you the story of Nanay Mila and our citizen scientists because it has been a humbling reminder to me that you don't need to be a health equity fellow to truly care for your people. All you need is a clear sense of mission, a clarity of what it is that gets you up in the morning to do exactly what you need to do and to be where you are exactly needed to be. Working with our citizen scientists has also made it very clear to me what this fellowship has been teaching us all about health equity. Health equity is bringing health to the hands of the people. It's more than just giving them a seat at the table or a voice in the podium. It's unleashing the power that they've always had inside of them and making them realize that they don't need to wait for anyone. They can be the change that the world needs them to be. My third and last story is, it's a secret. It's something I haven't really told anyone, not even the people closest to me. But the truth is, I'm tired. I came into this fellowship tired and frustrated. I was frustrated with government doing all its best, but never doing enough. Frustrated of companies and capitalists blatantly ignoring our policies. Frustrated that we in the Philippines, we in the Global South, have to depend so much from funding from the countries that created this climate crisis to begin with. most of all, I was frustrated with myself. Every now and then, I'd pat myself in the back for publishing something, enacting a new law, preparing a new plan. And yet, even with all of this, my fellow Filipinos continue to get sick and die because of environmental pollution. During the first few months of the fellowship, the truth is, I had this unbearable weight on my shoulders. I was really tired. Being part of this fellowship, talking to my mentors, talking to you, seeing that you are just as tired as I am, allowed me to embrace this tiredness. And to the words of Oscar Romero, it helps to step back and take the long view. The things we fight for, health equity, climate and environmental justice, social justice, they're not only beyond our efforts, they're beyond our vision. No policy or program, no health equity project can solve everything. And we can only accomplish in our lifetime only a tiny fraction of a great cause that's greater than any of us and our individual efforts alone. Kate once sat me down and told me, Jello, you cannot do everything. We cannot do everything. But you know, there is a sense of liberation in realizing that. Acknowledging that I can't do everything has only driven that passion in me to do something, to do it in the here and now, in the life that I have, and to do it well. I may not be able to do everything, yes, but I can distribute leadership. I can mentor, I can coach, I can teach. And you know, I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning to teach my master's students for my social determinants of health class. Imagine, I only started teaching that class only because Janice told me, because of this fellowship. And my students are doctors serving the most remote and underserved areas of the Philippines. And I listen with awe as they prepare their own health equity projects. And my tired heart is happy. And I'm filled with hope. And one day, my son Mateo will probably watch his daddy doc in this video. And I want to make it very clear to him, to my students, what this fellowship has taught me. That this is what we are about. We plant seeds, hoping one day they will grow. We lay foundations, knowing that they will still need further development. We burn our charcoals, hoping that it will ignite and allow others to burn as well. Embers becoming ashes, ashes becoming light, light that scatters. We may never see the end results, but it is a beginning. We are the beginning, a step along the way, an opportunity for others and for God's grace to do the rest, so that one day we will all be free. Maraming salamat po.